going on to the AMC stock family? In today's video, we do not have too much time to waste with the introduction because we have simply too much to discuss about not only Robinhood but the SEC. And so the AMC stock price, I'm aware that it is falling down, and so this is why all the news is so important and so relevant. So if you guys have not already, share this video if you would like to your fellow AMC investors so that more people understand the news, because unfortunately with less information there will be more drops in the future, and that is simply because no one knows the true news. And that is the same concept that we talked about in the last video, because Robinhood and all these news outlets, they were apparently saying that the AMC CEO decided to dump shares of AMC stock. First of all, that rhetoric is absolutely insane. No CEO or no CFO, by that matter, decided to dump any shares of AMC. What really happened was that the CFO decided to sell 45,000 out of his 111,000 shares of AMC stock. And regardless, that was just a quick side note from the previous video. I'm just trying to make the point that more news, the better for all the AMC investors, to keep this movement truly strong and resilient, so that no news will end up hurting us in the future, because right now, unfortunately, it is hurting us. So let's talk about the news. Robinhood just said that it cannot assure investors that a meme mania will not hit again. Let me just tell you guys this. This news may sound bearish at first. Bearish meaning that it is not positive but rather negative, but it is actually quite bullish, because here's why. This relates exactly with Citadel and what they are trying to do. The reason why it relates to Citadel is because Robinhood does not care about us, okay? Simply put it, or at least that's my opinion, Robinhood doesn't care about us, because why would they end up blocking the buy button? And so we're also going to be talking about the buy button. It is way too important to just ignore. And the SEC is even stepping in right now to discuss all this about the buy button. But with this news specifically, who are they trying to protect when they say the investors? And again, this ties back with the rhetoric. Are they really trying to help the investors, or are they really trying to help Citadel, which is an investor of Robinhood, because they are partners together? So Citadel handles the order flow and Robinhood directs the order flow to Citadel, which again is an investor of Robinhood. So Robinhood saying that it cannot assure investors that a meme mania will not hit again. This is really important to Citadel, because Citadel has a lot of selling position on AMC stock, and so they also said that we cannot assure that a similar events will not occur in the future. Robinhood said in its S1 filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission released Thursday, or in other words, the SEC, if AMC stock decides to have a short squeeze 2.0, that will damage the hedge funds, and I'm talking about Citadel in this case, because right now we know that Citadel has a lot of selling positions. And so if AMC decides to have a short squeeze 2.0, Citadel may even just be underwater for their total hedge fund, just like how Melvin Capital was, and similar to how Melvin Capital decided to reach out to other hedge funds as an emergency fund. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Melvin Capital actually reached out to Citadel themselves for a $2.7 million emergency fund because they were 53% underwater. Now listen, AMC stock family, we already talked about a lot of news, and this is why we need to constantly inform each other about all the news. And going off of that, if you guys have any news about AMC stock, make sure you guys comment down below so I can take a look at it and try to understand and break it down to the AMC investors, so we all have a clear understanding of where this stock is going to go in the future and what is going on with the company right now, in the past, and in the future. So continuing on, we are not done just yet, because again, we're going to be talking about the SEC and the buy button for Robinhood. So in January, when an epic short squeeze erupted in GameStop stock, particularly driven by retail traders, Robinhood shut down the trading of certain meme shares due to increased capital requirements from its clearinghouse. Right here, guys, margin requirements. Who cares about margin requirements though? Is it the AMC retail investors? Not at all. This article was actually very relevant. This article was not made during January or February. This article was made just 1 month ago. So the Robinhood CEO, he has these opinions, right? He has no idea what's going to happen in the future. What he's actually pointing out to is that he's not certain, and that the AMC retail traders, they are unpredictable at any point, and they may just decide to have another short squeeze. And so Robinhood shutting down the trading of certain meme shares due to increased capital requirements. The capital requirements are from the margin calls that Citadel must have, and it's not just Citadel at this point, it is also Charles Schwab, and Charles Schwab is actually doing a better job though, simply because they're not the ones selling a lot of AMC shares. In the previous videos, we actually discussed how Charles Schwab may just be on our side because apparently they bought a lot of AMC shares recently, and AMC makes up 0.1% of their portfolio, but with that 0.1%, it actually equates to roughly $2 million. So the hedge funds have a lot of control, and they most certainly have a lot of power, because the average retail trader does not have $2 million just sitting around to invest 0.1% 0.1% of their portfolio into any underlying equity. But Charles Schwab, JP Morgan, and yes, even Citadel and Melvin Capital, they most certainly have that power. So they can and sometimes they will decide to artificially manipulate the stock. So watch out, AMC stock family. Right now, I simply don't see any bearish news with this news article. In fact, I think that with this news that just came out pretty recently, which was 1 month ago, about the Robinhood CEO's opinions towards a lot of these meme stocks, I think it's actually quite bullish simply because the Robinhood CEO is even uncertain. He is uncertain and he may even just be fearful about what the AMC retail traders can truly do. So let's continue to make this movement even stronger by just buying and holding, or at least that's my opinion. That's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm not a financial advisor though. And so Robinhood has called for a real-time settlement to replace the current 2-day settlement. Robinhood said Thursday that the first time Robinhood restricted trading on its app during the GameStop event earlier this year may not be the last. Okay, AMC stock family, this may not be the last time. That's exactly what I'm saying. No one is certain. And so this is actually going to be amazing for us on the AMC stock family side, but for the people that are on the other side, like Robinhood, like Citadel, and even like Melvin Capital, right now is a fearful time. What's confusing about this whole situation is that they're actually being greedy right now to some extent. I'm not saying all the hedge funds are being extremely greedy, but some of them are not covering their position. And so you cannot cover your position if you have a selling position if you do not buy back the shares. And essentially, when you decide to sell shares, that is the first button you click. Instead of clicking the buy button, which is usually what you would normally do, you click the sell button. So you can make monies on both sides. And so with these selling positions, they make money when the stock decides to go down. But then how are you going to cash out? Because the money is not yours until you realize it, and you can only realize the money by closing the position. So how exactly are you going to end up closing your position? You must buy back the shares. This may not be the last. That just means that there may be another short squeeze 2.0 with all these hedge funds having to buy back their shares. And so in January, when an epic short squeeze erupted in GameStop stock driven by retail traders, Robinhood shut down trading of certain meme shares due to increased capital requirements from its clearing houses. And who are the clearing houses? They are Citadel. Despite raising above $3.4 billion in a few days to shore up its balance sheet, the brokerage limited trading of GameStop, AMC, and other Reddit trading stocks. We cannot assure that a similar event will not occur in the future. That is absolutely amazing for us. However, again, fearful for the other side, and so Robinhood said this in the S1 filing to the SEC. And now we're going to be talking about the SEC investigation towards the Robinhood removing the buy button. So we just talked about how the Robinhood CEO may just be admitting that there could be another short squeeze 2.0 for a lot of these retail trader stocks like GameStop and like AMC. But now, what is going on with the SEC, and are they really trying to investigate Robinhood? Usually this doesn't make a lot of sense because we have never seen anything like this thus far. And so SEC decided to say that they could be investigating Robinhood employees if they decided to trade AMC before announcing the trade restrictions, which was applied on January 28th of 2021. In other words, removing the buy button. I'm sure a lot of us remember this because there was a large dispute about Robinhood and the SEC, and I'm glad that the SEC decided to step in because it was truly unfair about how they decided to remove the buy button. And some may even say that they decided to ban AMC stock temporarily, and that is just because no one was able to buy AMC. And I know a lot of people that missed out on buying AMC below $20 a share simply because there was no buy button to even buy the underlying equity. In other words, you could just call that a temporary ban. It just depends on how you want to say it. And now let's talk about the AMC price because we have no reason to stress. We know the news now. The SEC is trying to investigate Robinhood because of how they removed the buy button, and the SEC has already started to begin this process. There was a large dispute between Robinhood and the SEC not too long ago, just a few months ago, and we also talked about how the CEO of Robinhood is actually saying that he has no clear indication of what AMC stock is going to do in the future, but it actually just may seem like there could be another short squeeze 2.0. Why is the stock price still deciding to fall down? Well, there's no worries for that whatsoever because in the previous video, we said that we have a trading range going on right now. And so where exactly is this trading range? We talked about this trading range that occurred from $31 a share, and then that would be the lows of the trading range. And if we break that trading range, we said yesterday that it will fall to around $29 a share. But I also said that I don't think AMC stock will break this trading range. And so the top of the trading range is actually going to be at around $35 a share. And so if you break $35 a share, then we can go to $38 a share. How are we just going very sideways? We actually talked about how today is going to be another sideways day. And so lo and behold, we are trading back within this trading range. We did not end up having a breakout to the upside, but needless to say, this is going to benefit AMC stock. I know right now it may not seem like it, but the more that the stock consolidates, the better. And so with the short squeeze 2.0, which a lot of the AMC investors are familiar with, we know that the AMC stock will probably have a short squeeze in the future. History does repeat itself, and so with the history last time, this stock took about 4 months of consolidation, just consolidating from, what was this price, all the way from $1 and around 80 cents a share, all the way to the highs of $20 a share before it ended up falling back down to $5 a share. This was definitely not the best time to endure all the AMC volatility, but guess what? That was just part of the consolidation. And so after we broke out of the consolidation, which is also where the gap fill would come into play, we ended up going straight to the upside. In my opinion, this is just a repeat of history, and so we are right now in the consolidation phase, and so we have yet to break the peak of the consolidation, which would take us back not even to this zone right here, but possibly even higher. And so with that being said, AMC stock family, do not worry right now. Do not stress. There's no reason to stress right now. You're simply in the trading zone that we discussed yesterday. So with that being said, again, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.